So how's it all gonna end? I mean, for decades, we've basically been told the universe is just gonna keep expanding until it's a cold, dark, empty void. But what if that's completely wrong? Today, we're diving into a really cool idea that suggests the universe isn't fading away at all, it's elastic.
This is the question, right? And it's the most common view of how our universe will end. The idea is that it just keeps expanding forever. Galaxies get further and further apart until the very last star flickers out, and all that's left is, well, nothing but a cold, silent emptiness. It's got a name. You probably heard it, the Big Freeze.
And look, for a long time, all the data we've gathered has seemed to point in that direction. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the universe isn't just some passive backdrop for things to happen in, but it actually has its own internal, almost living property that could totally change its final destiny?
To really get our heads around just how different this new idea is, we first got to take a quick look at the theory it's up against, this idea of an ever-expanding end.
So the standard model, the one you'll read about in most textbooks, points to this endless expansion. It's often called the Big Freeze or even the heat death of the universe. The whole idea is that everything just gets so spread out that the universe becomes this huge, lonely, and basically dead wasteland. Yeah, it's a bit grim, isn't it?
Okay, but the alternative to that pretty bleak future starts with a really fundamental shift in how we think. It's asking us to stop seeing the universe as just this big machine that's run by a set of external, unchangeable laws, and to start seeing it as something that evolves based on its own internal properties.
Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the classic view. The universe is like a clock. It got wound up at the very beginning, and it's just been ticking away, following a rigid set of rules ever since. But on the other side is this more, organic idea. A universe that changes and evolves based on its own built-in characteristics. It isn't just following a script, it's acting on its own nature.
So, if the universe has its own internal nature, what is it? Well, the theory we're digging into today points to one absolutely crucial property, and it has massive consequences for everything. It's called cosmic elasticity.
You know how a rubber band works, right? You can stretch it out, but its very nature creates this tension, this force that wants to pull it back to its original shape. This theory suggests that the entire fabric of space-time works just like that. The universe has this built-in property where it inherently resists being stretched out forever.
And the source material on this is incredibly direct. It doesn't mince words. It says, flat out, that if this property of elasticity is real, then the whole idea of an eternally expanding universe is just off the table. It's a total game changer.
All right, so if eternal expansion is out, then what happens instead? This is where it gets really cool. Instead of a one-way ticket to emptiness, elasticity creates a cycle, a kind of cosmic ebb and flow.
So this model basically lays out a four-step cycle. First, the universe expands, which is what we're seeing right now. Second, as it stretches, that elastic tension starts to build up. Third, eventually, that tension becomes strong enough to overcome the expansion, and it starts to pull everything back in, causing the universe to contract. But, and this is the most important part, it doesn't completely collapse on itself. Why not? Because all the energy inside it acts like a kind of structural support, preventing a total crunch.
So what this really means is that the universe kind of lives between two limits. Its expansion is capped by its own elasticity, so it can't just get infinitely big. And on the flip side, its contraction is stopped by all the energy it contains, which prevents a big crunch or some kind of total reset. It's a universe that breathes, expanding and contracting, but always within a certain range.
But wait a minute, how can energy stop a collapse? That brings us to the final, and honestly, pretty mind-bending piece of this puzzle. The energy doesn't just exist in the universe, it actually gives the universe its very shape.
This is the whole key to why it doesn't collapse. All that energy inside, the stars, the galaxies, dark matter, the whole shebang, it isn't just floating around in an empty void. That energy is the substance of the universe. It gives it a real, tangible shape that can't just be squeezed down into nothing. So our universe isn't an empty container, it's a substantive thing itself.
It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it? If just by changing our perspective from looking at external laws to thinking about internal properties, we can completely rewrite the end of the universe, well, it really makes you wonder. What other cosmic certainties might we be getting wrong? What else are we maybe misinterpreting about this dynamic, amazing universe we call home?